happen. Hello everybody and welcome once again to another edition of Inside the Headset. Here we are, week 8, game 8, and I'm with the head coach of the Blackman Blaze. Coach, it's been 13 days since we last talked, and you ended up playing the Bulldogs about 14 days ago, and kind of talk a little bit about that game and just tell us a little bit about what the Blaze has been doing.
Well, that game was a game we needed to get well. We had 2 straight, kind of last play of the game kind of losses. It was devastating to our kids, and bottom line is they persevered. I won't say we played great against Smyrna. We played extremely hard and moved the ball up and down the field, but we fumbled the ball a ton of times and ended up winning 42-12. Our defense played terrific. Our offense played really well, but we put the ball on the ground. So just effort plays. It wasn't. We look back fundamentally. It was good fundamentals when carrying the ball. We just dropped the ball for whatever reason. So, but I was pleased with the effort we played with against Smyrna. Now, as far as what we've been doing since then, obviously we had fall break. We came in on Thursday and Friday, began working a lot of fundamentals for us. Also, a little bit of a head start on preparing for Riverdale, but more fundamentals about Blackman High School, us getting better at what we do. Had 2 great days. Kids worked extremely hard. Came back this week with a terrific week of practice, and our kids are ready. Our kids are excited about playing tomorrow night. They're confident about playing tomorrow night, and I think they understand what we're trying to accomplish on both sides of the ball and on special teams. And now it's just a matter of relaxing at 7 o'clock and going and playing the game and having some fun.
Injury-wise, how are you?
We're good. I mean, we've had a lot of bangs. We've had some kids miss time. Brandon Davenport's missed a game. He missed at Bradley. Antonio had a death in the family miss. Billy Woodward's missed a game and a half really, with different kinds of shoulders or strained knees or whatever.
And those are key guys that you can use.
Yes.
They're not, they're not one individual that can lead you to a victory, but man, they sure help.
Absolutely, they're all good football players that I just mentioned, and so I think we have all of them back. At least they've all practiced. We feel good about where they are. They still have some nagging injuries, but we feel like we have everybody back. No new injuries right now, knock on wood, and so, we'll be pretty much, we still have some nicks and knacks and some kids that aren't playing as much as they would if they were healthy, but all in all, for this time of year, we're pretty healthy.
Before we talk about Ron and the Warriors, I've asked the other 3 coaches, and I'll ask you, Gary Danielson's kind of poking it. He's a college football analyst on Saturday, does the SEC games, and he's been kind of talking about just the tempo game of the high scoring of West Virginia and the way tempo is ran, and Coach McDaniel, he gave some good points and stuff, and Coach Saban's giving his thoughts that, I can't get my defensive players on the field. If there is something implemented in college, do you think it'll hit the high school, Coach?
Yeah, we're always right behind what colleges do, with helmet rules or this rule, that rule, so we're right behind it. But I don't think anything will occur with that. I think Saban's point was you couldn't alternate any of your kids, so you're asking kids to play after play after play after play. Chasing quarterbacks, chasing receivers, whatever the case may be, and it becomes a danger because of how tired kids can get or winded or whatever. More injuries occur because of that. That was the point he was trying to make. All Saban was trying to do, because he's, he spends a lot of time thinking of ways to, to needle people and all that kind of stuff. And, he's making a point. That's not the kind of offense Alabama runs. They're going to
they're methodical.
They're methodical, run it down your throat, play action, pass it kind of team. And everybody's kind of gone, and the equalizer to having a team like an Alabama has, the equalizer to that is to spread out all over the field and tempo people. That's the equalizer to all those athletes maybe, because every team has athletes, just not as many as Alabama does. And so, he's trying to help Alabama right there. Do I think something will happen with that at some point? Not really. They may slow the tempo a little bit, making the officials slow the tempo before they put the ball in play. It doesn't matter to me.
No, it doesn't.
As long as, and the only thing I ask officials, if a team is a no-huddle team, is don't change the tempo just because they're no-huddle.
Or get caught up in that tempo.
Right.
And have
ever how long it takes you to put the ball down, make sure everybody's aligned, make sure the chains are correct, whatever. Whatever tempo you work at, then when a team goes no-huddle, work at that same pace. Don't speed up just because they want you to, so to speak. And we really hadn't had that issue. The only team that tempos a ton is Siegel. Oakland tempos some, but it's not usually a fast tempo. They just no huddle it some. We've done that a little bit ourselves in tempo. So as long as the officials don't get caught up in the speed of it, I have no problem with it. The high school game is not tempoed nearly as fast as the college game. Those guys are kind of running over and put it down. They're ready to roll.
They're rolling.
And I think the goal in most of those college programs like Oregon and West Virginia is 18 to 20 seconds they want another snap from the time the ball is tackled.
Right.
Well, that's getting after it now. That is really fast tempo. We don't have that tempo in high school.
And you have to have a guy that can run it. They can run the field.
Well, sure, you have to have officials that can do it.
Yeah.
You have to have officials that can do it, and a lot of high school officials, let's be honest, are older gentlemen who aren't going to run around very much at all, you know, and so it takes, and college officials obviously have to be in shape to do that. They get paid a lot of money to do that. So we won't ever face that as far as being that fast a tempo. I don't see any rule changing coming in the college game or the high school game about that anytime soon, because I don't think it's a problem in high school.
Well, we'll leave it as is. Okay, moving to the last subject. What's it take to beat these guys, the Riverdale Warriors? Your last 3 runs are going to be tough. But the first one is a big step. And what's it take to beat the Warriors and Ron?
A couple things. I think number one, you got to be fit. Excuse me, you got to be physical. They're going to try to run the football, even though they have a really good quarterback who can also throw it. He still wants to run it first.
Right.
And so to do that, you got to be tacklers. You got to tackle the ball. You got to do what you're supposed to do with your eyes. And I'm talking about discipline from a defensive standpoint, because there are wing T and misdirection and all the things they do with that. You got to have some discipline about yourself. And really, I'm talking about discipline with the eyes more than anything. You can't get caught up in all the motions and all the things they do. And once you read your keys and you're where you're supposed to be, you got to go tackle physically. You know, that's the way to slow them down. You're not going to stop them. I mean, nobody. I mean, you know, they're going to get some first downs. They're going to move the ball. Dylan's too good a quarterback not to. He's a really talented kid. He looks to be pretty much recovered all the way from the ACL he had last year. You know, from watching earlier in the year to watching their last game, you can see a difference in his confidence with his leg. And so, you know, he's basically full speed. You know, back. I think they'll run him more than they have been running him. And but the bottom line is, in order to beat them, then we have to be disciplined on defense. We have to tackle well. Then offensively, for us, we have to quit turning the ball over. I mean, you know, and it's not like we're throwing a bunch of picks or anything like that. It's just that we're dropping the ball. You know, we're fumbling the football, and more of them than anything have been great effort, second effort kind of runs.
That hurts.
And you know, and so you keep telling the kid, run the thing hard, keep the ball tucked, and you know, we don't I mean, we do a lot of fundamental work on ball security. We're not going to overemphasize that, because nobody that's fumbled the ball wants to fumble one.
Right. And
so, bottom line is, if we take care of the football, we play with discipline and physicality on defense, tomorrow night can be a good night for us. If we don't do those things, tomorrow night can be a bad night. So, you know, I think it's a relatively even matchup. They have a little more maybe experience in some areas. They have a few more injuries though than we do also. So
it's going to be a good game on paper.
Kind of balances out. It should be a really good football game. I expect it to be a great atmosphere, because it is a rivalry game. You know, I mean, Riverdale's just 5 minutes away or less. You know, originally when Blackman opened up, it opened up with kids that came from Riverdale, and so I think there have been hard feelings ever since. I wasn't a part of that, you know, when it opened up, but I think there's been hard feelings ever since with that, and so it's always a fun game. It's always been, you know, our regular season games have been terrific. They've kicked our tails in the playoffs. Our regular season games have been great the last 3 years, and I expect another great contest tomorrow night, and we're looking forward to it. I'm sure they are too.
7 o'clock tomorrow night over at the reservation. The Blaze and the Warriors. Be there. It's the game on the week.